I've said in the past that I didn't think Elon Musk was a clone, and so I don't think that he's likely going to solve the energy crisis. And I don't think he thinks he's going to solve the energy crisis. That doesn't mean that he's not going to make progress in the battery department. So even though Elon Musk isn't a clone, do I think he's clone worthy? Yes, I think Elon Musk is clone worthy. There's a reason that he's more competent than all of NASA, or his people and him are more competent than all of NASA. It's because he's actually smart. What I was really critical about Elon Musk about was this house he has in San Francisco that's giant, that he doesn't even live in, that's terrible for the environment. And I feel like a house like that you have to ventilate for sure, or else you'll have mildew. So that's the type of house that no matter what, you're going to have to maintain. And I feel like it's going to be, it's probably very expensive to maintain. He probably regrets owning that house at all. Elon Musk is smart, and one thing that one thing that's a pretty good indication that he's smart is that he has such a good relationship with China. And he's building cars in China right now. And let's face it, if I had money, would I buy a Tesla? Yes. Why? Because their batteries are that much more efficient in their use of electricity than any other battery company. Like any other car company that you buy an electric car from, it's like night and day comparing the efficiency of his batteries and the efficiency of the batteries that are at GM and stuff like that. That might be because of the magnets they use. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that Tesla's engines are dependent on raw materials, just like gasoline cars, and we are going to run out of cobalt someday, and we're going to run out of the raw materials that are used to make batteries, and that's a fact. And so what I've talked about is we need to go off batteries completely. But the thing is, when I talk about this pyramid building project, who would probably be better at being in charge, me or Elon? Probably Elon, because he has a lot more experience being a tech CEO. I just came up with the idea, and I wanted his people to be involved, and I want people to start focusing on surviving on this planet instead of surviving on other planets. But I don't know how we can do that, because it sure seems like everyone's priorities are kind of screwed up. I mean, Joe Biden is very good at doing politics. That's why he got into his job, even though he graduated from the University of Delaware and he has a law degree from Syracuse, and he doesn't have a fancy education. He's definitely not the smartest. He's not the best speaker. He's very good at politics. He's good at talking about unions, and he's good at talking about made in America. But the reality is America's 5% of the world population, and if you look at the efficiency of American workers compared to the efficiency of Chinese workers, it's night and day. Chinese workers produce so much more with so much less effort, or with the same amount of effort, with the same amount of time. Like in the same amount of time, Chinese workers will blow American workers out of the water. So we all want to have made in America, but that's fine if you're producing very high-tech goods. Wait, no, it's not. We don't even manufacture computers in the United States. We don't manufacture transistors and stuff like that. That stuff is all manufactured in Asia. And if you haven't noticed, the Asians are actually a lot more competent than us. Like when there's an outbreak in, Jilin, I don't know how to say it, in northeast China of COVID-19, you know what they did? They quarantined an entire city because of 173 cases. They kicked COVID-19's asses, and you know what? Everyone in China everyone in that region got angry because they're having trouble getting access to food. Because seriously, they had food shortages. But you know what? The Chinese people are hardy enough that they can handle that situation. Americans can't handle rubber nose shortages. If we had a rubber nose shortage, Americans wouldn't be able to handle it. We'd freak out. If we had a freaking coffee cup shortage, we can't get coffee cups. Why don't you go buy a used coffee cup? No, we can handle it. Americans will cry. We're little bitches. And that's the thing about the United States is we're not very good at handling bad situations because the American people are not very hardy. I'm sorry for being hard on the military when I said the military is incompetent, but the reality is my people have not been in charge of the United States government since Eisenhower. Eisenhower was our last president that was one of us. And every president, they pick a lot of different people for different jobs, and that has slowly weeded us out of the government. We're still in the government because some of us need jobs, and then we get a job working for the government. But the reality is we haven't been in charge of the government for a very long time. Government is all about kissing ass. Business is about kicking ass, and that's why Elon Musk is way more competent than all of NASA, or his company is more competent than NASA. Even though NASA's had this massive budget, they've had a head start on research. They have had secrets, trade secrets, for a long time, and they're still not competing with SpaceX because SpaceX is more competent, because SpaceX has smarter people. And I mean, I'm guessing that my people work at SpaceX too. The thing is, I didn't hear people talking about killing people at SpaceX. They were like, I'm talking about when these military people were talking about trying to kill our people because of COVID-19 and all that stuff. They were talking about killing people at Microsoft and Google because they had done genetics tests. They weren't talking about killing people at SpaceX. I don't understand why. Maybe SpaceX doesn't have people that are part of our organization there. It's not about our organization. It's about our genetics. A lot of people that are a part of us don't have anything to do with the drugs. They have to do with living and doing technology research and stuff like that. A very small percentage of the people actually have to do with the drugs. But I think what these government people have focused on is trying to figure out who has genetics related to mine, and just like, all right, that can be pretty misleading.